Hey everyone, this is Teen Trash Live. We're back, and we're gonna finish this game up today. And I'll figure out what my plans are for the rest of the week, because a lot of things are gonna be packed this time around. As I said before, the Switch 2 is coming out at the end of this week. But as I said before, this will be my last major console I'll pick up. This is due to a lot of things go on, and that's why I want to make it clear. Other than that, let's get started. Because game consoles have become more like PCs in the end, and that's why. When you come down to it, that's why I want to explain to people a little bit. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Switch 2, but that's it. Okay. So we'll see how everything goes. If I have a little bit more time later today, if I have a little more time, we'll go from there. But I think most of this week is going to be me getting ready. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be a Tuesday or Wednesday stream. Just to be fair here. I'll make a final decision close to tonight if I want to do any more streams. But it doesn't look like I'm going to be doing a lot in the lead up to the Switch 2. Because I'm going to be very busy in the lead up to the console's launch. Get everything prepared and all that stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to archive a couple of games here and there. Because I may not have the room where I switch to Switch 2. And that's that. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm very active still despite not streaming this week. Well, proportionally. We'll see what happens. But we'll see what happens. But that's all I can say. And what was the point about the multiplication? Yeah. Tell you the truth, after all the stuff that's going on in the gaming industry, for all the bad stuff, and a lot of stuff go on. And in no way I'm defending what's going on in the gaming industry at all. In fact, I'm not a fan of the way that things are right now. Which just means why I'm a little agitated over it. Which is why I wanted to do that book, which I'm still figuring out what to do here because right now it's kind of up in the air until we know what's going on. And that's that. To me, I'm still going to support Nintendo and Sony Microsoft until we get to a certain point. And to tell you the truth, if I ran the gaming industry, everything will be PC gaming, including Nintendo and Sony Microsoft's games. Because at the end of the day, I just want people to just play the games and not keep warring over consoles every day, because it's wrong in my eyes. But that's me. part of the reason is so it's make everything easy accessible. And we have to worry about you get the picture here. But to tell you the truth, I believe that no vegan company is without its own problems. And I'll say that personally. If, if vegan companies just don't like me saying it, that's fine. This is a free country and all, but that's true. But that's what I'm trying to say here. The reason why I suggest for Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft to move to PC gaming is to make it easier on everyone. So the move can be, so that way we don't need a lot of consoles in our bedrooms and all that stuff, but that's me. Just wanted to make it clear. But as I said before, I'm still going to support Nintendo. I'm going to still support Sony and Microsoft until further notice. But when it's time for me to move on from gaming, I'm not going to move on yet. But there will come a time where, because of all the chaos in the gaming industry right now, and all the upheavals, we really don't know what's going to happen. I'm not trying to aggravate any of the video game companies. I'm just saying my thoughts on the whole gaming industry chaos and what I would do if I was in charge of the gaming industry. That's all. Because if I ran the gaming industry would be more pro-consumer. Between releasing your games on PC, I would also call for game companies to cut back on a lot of and build games that, quote unquote, will not require a lot of overhead costs. And reserve it for some of the games that require that if you need it to up it in a sense of word. If it's up the game budget for any reason, I always say this right out the bat. I'm sorry for having to use this, but like I said, if I ran the gaming industry, I would lower the cost and the price of the games. Lower the cost of developing games and the price of developing said games. And go back to the good creative outsiders that defined my generation of gamers. That's all. We get more good games like Yoshi's Island, for example. That's why I was explaining a little bit. That if everyone was on the same playing field, like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft offer games on Valve's Steam platform, it would have led to a less nastier arms race in the long run. And we would see the gaming industry evolve in a more healthier way. People will finally be more wary not to step out of line. If you know what I mean. But that's my opinion. I stand by it. I mean, if I ran the Entertainment Software Association, and I don't, I'll be of the person that believes that every game should be on every platform. This includes Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft's games. That's my opinion. I know it's people like their exclusives, but I think Microsoft made the right call here. I think Sony is starting to make the right call here to some degree. And it makes sense. Because things have changed since I was a little kid, and having home consoles makes no sense. But the problem is with PC, and I'm going to come out and talk about this a little bit. I mean, this is going up on YouTube, so you'll probably hear the whole rant. Start to finish in this case. Especially as the Switch 2 is coming out, I want to make it clear off the bat where I stand on the gaming industry's constant obsession with being the top dog. This is also another reason why I don't acknowledge certain fan base groups, fanboys in the group. Because to me, why? And that's what angers me about fanboyism a lot. Because fanboyism makes gaming less. Basically, we work by we look like, how should I say it? Tribalistic in my eyes. And no, this is not a defense of Nintendo, sorry Microsoft here. This is actually legitimately my personal thoughts on the subject. Because I've been getting more tired over the past couple months. The gamers whining about the Switch 2, which by the way, I'm not a fan of what's going on with Nintendo with the way they mishandled that console. And yeah, I'm still getting it, so... So this is probably my... last and final stream for the launch of the console, and yes, I am going to be talking about the console market being a mess. Because everyone's fighting to be number one. And you got the Sony fanboys whining that you got the Sony fanboys on one end. You got the Microsoft fanboys. To me, I call them Game Pass nerds. Sorry, I should have used that word. You got the PC fanboys who say, you know, but the reason why I want gaming to transition to PC gaming is because it's more of a good... I compare it to how television changed. I was a little... well, technically. Remember back, I know some people who watch Twitch do not know that we had a digital transition back in the... We had a digital transition back in 2009. Basically, back in the day, when the digital transition happened, part of the reason is people wanted a clearer picture. In other words, high definition. Nowadays, it's... Now there's talk about ATSC 3.0, or... And that's the new big thing that's coming here. I compare Nintendo and Sony Microsoft discontinuing their hardware business in favor of, or at least begin the transition to PC gaming, to that I know exclusive sell consoles, but I get tired of the infighting over the community at times, because it makes no sense. Tell you the truth, it makes no sense. And with everything going on, it makes sense because it allows more people to play the game and not have to go through a lot of hoops trying to get around to play the game. This is why I'd rather gaming be transitioned to more. I know some gamers may not be okay with it, given it for a physical copy. And they would see it no differently than they did with game key cards. And to tell you the truth, I'm aware of it too. But I'm in favor of a future where every game company making the effort to transition to PC gaming and Valve's Steam platform will be no different than, say, the flipping to analog to digital, or soon ATSC 1.0 to 3.0, or next gen TV, if you know what I mean. It makes sense. Less headaches, more play. The truth is, and again, I'm not advocating for any of the major video game companies, including Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and Valve. That's all. You can, well, I never enter the Koopa Kingdom. I banish you to forever twinkle in the heavens. Be gone! But that's what I'm trying to say in the end. I just want people to understand why I stand on the whole Switch 2 situation and other stuff. Yes, I'm still getting the console. Yes, I'm gonna play Mario Kart World with it and maybe play some new games here and there, but not all of it. Because that's what I'm trying to say here. Because we can't always rely on home consoles. Eventually they'll degrade. And it doesn't matter if you play physical or digital. The console's eventually gonna degrade and will become useless. That's why, and I'm not advocating for PC gaming here, but it is what it is. Because at least if there's a, I also apply my anger at Valve a little bit too, because when they made the Steam Deck, if anything pop back, if something bad happens, that I'm gonna have to fix it. So, and while I am tech smart to some degree, fixing PC, to tell you the truth, or I do plan to retrofit my desktop so I can play more Steam games in the future. Because I just want Nintendo and Microsoft to know that I will support the products even if they come to Steam. That's the truth. I'd rather Nintendo know that and Sony and Microsoft know that too. Because there's nothing wrong with them bringing the games out on platforms, especially PC. And the reason why I did this rant was to let people know where I stand on it. Because I'm getting tired of the fanboys, and especially between PC and Nintendo fanboys. I'm also getting tired of the Microsoft and Sony fanboys. And their problematic behavior to some degree, which is why I keep my distance in the end. Okay? That's all. I'm not pretending to be angry about it. It's just I want to make a point across to let people know where I stand on this. Eventually, I would love to see Nintendo's games come to Steam. That I won't deny. But, as I said before, as I'm going to say here, I'm going to say it once. I will not buy Zelda Tears of the Kingdom again. Or Breath of the Wild if I get it on the Switch. So even if it comes to PC, it's a big no for me. Period. And I'm not going to go out of my way because to me, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, part of the reason why I haven't played it fully was because, and I don't play a game, if I don't play the game, and if I play a game and I don't enjoy it, then what's the point? That's what I'm trying to say. And Zelda games tend to be more lukewarm for me, yeah? So, because of my age and all that stuff, and the fact that I just want to make it clear. That's all. I'm not angry at anyone over this, I just want to make it clear that with all that said, I'm not giving up console gaming. Just because I have a Steam Deck doesn't mean I will be giving up console gaming. It's just my priorities have changed since then, and that's why I'm thinking about writing the book. And it's not, and it's just gonna be about myself first, and then go from there. Because, and it's not anyone in any trouble. Not even Nintendo, sorry, Microsoft here. It's just the gaming industry has been going downhill for some time. And it's frustrating to say the least. I hate that. I'm sorry for saying that because it's a strong word. It's just, I just want this game done. That's all. And what frustrates me as a gamer first is I just want to do content creation for fun. I mean, I mean, one thing is, I do plan to buy more Steam games, and I do plan to buy more Nintendo games, but they'll likely be the older ones for the time being, because of the A-Bucks and all that stuff. Saying A-Bucks, which is gonna, to me, is gonna cause an issue. Or, I mean, to make a point across, to go even further and make a point across, I pay $8 for the more recent Cyberpunk game, Cyberpunk 2077. And to tell you the truth, there's some issues with the game. There's still some issues with the game. I know that even though, I mean, it's not anything bad, it's just more of it crashed. The one time I played the game on Xbox, the game crashed on me, badly, and it annoyed me. Because there's one time that when I was playing the stream, not stream, play the game outright, the game crashed on me. I was annoyed. Which means they didn't truly fix it. Well, they did fix it, it's just your mileage may vary on the game itself. Part of the problem is that's why you see me play a lot of retro games, like Switch Online, for example, or so I'm not truly angry at Nintendo, sorry, Microsoft here, but all three of them dropped the ball, or including Nintendo, and my fear is if the Switch 2 fails, one of two things is gonna happen. As you know, we almost came close because there's been a couple times Microsoft tried to buy them. I know I discussed this in Discord and they said we don't want that to happen. Well, my fear is it's going to happen one way or the other because if the Switch 2 fails, that could head that way. And that's my fear. And given that Microsoft is not doing pretty well right now, or as they up the price for games, and well, they're not going to do that yet. Like in a couple months, given all that's happened. And it's not like Nintendo's. Sorry about that. Like I said, I mean, the only good thing the only good thing that a Microsoft buyout might do would give us PC ports and tags at the bare minimum. But the fear is there that I know for a fact, and I'm sorry to say this to Terra's fan base, and I do agree with him on this one. There is a chance that Microsoft can mess up and damage Terra's business even more. So I understand their concerns too. However, that's my biggest concern. The reason I'm doing this rant right now is because I know some people are very, very upset with Nintendo on how they mishandled the Switch 2. And they think it's a lot worse than the Wii U. It's actually closer to the Xbox One in the end. I'm aware of the fact that part of the reason why the Xbox One fails, they require Kinect, and they also threw in always online DRM as a bonus, which to me, you shouldn't do that. And don't get me wrong, I like the Xbox One. Because when they got it fixed, they managed to fix a major amount of the problems with the Xbox. I mean, don't get me wrong. The only good things the Xbox was for, to me, is to play retro games at this point. And some party games. But that's it. That's all it's good for now, and that's telling the truth. That's the only thing the Xbox is good for at this point. Both my Series X and before that, the Xbox One. That's the only thing it's good for, is to play certain games that take advantage of the Series X, is computational power and all that stuff. To tell you the truth, and by computational power, I'm talking about the velocity architecture. That's all. And that's all I'm going to say about this. PlayStation, I have a problem with for two reasons. Some of the problems with Nintendo I could see in PlayStation sometimes. And again, I'm not defending your company here. All I'm just saying is there's not much I can say about what my plans are. Nice. As I was saying, basically, my plan with the Switch 2 is I'm still gonna get the older Switch games. Any newer Nintendo Switch games I pick up for the Switch 2 in mind, I'll make sure I get the game I get with, but we'll see what happens. If Nintendo turns around and says maybe we should not have done that, I'll be okay with the decision to get rid of the variable pricing, but that's it. That's one reason why I didn't like this. Because, and I do want them to experiment with the games again. And make new games similar to what I mentioned earlier. But make it with PC gaming in mind in the event they decide to bring the games to PC one day. Because I think a vast majority of... I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does happen, then everyone will be happier off in the long run. I doubt it's gonna happen right now with all that's going on. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I talked about the economy in the end. I won't say it again here. I'm still gonna cover Nintendo games until I'm blue in the face. I'm gonna start gradually shifting away and cover more retro fare going forward. There's not a lot to cover that we've... I think the truth is what annoyed me about Nintendo was when they announced the price for the console and the games. And then Microsoft turned around and said, oh, we're just gonna up the price to $8 too. And then later, you got Nintendo's rival Sony defending it partially, albeit it's more a former Sony employee that did that. Basically, it was a disaster fest. It was a mega disaster fest from my point of view. And with the launch of Switch 2 around the corner, saying that right now, a lot of gamers are not happy right now, and it's just going to make it worse. And right now, I do not want to know what's going to happen when the real problems show up in the gaming industry. And just because EA came out and said, well, we're not going to raise the prices, doesn't mean they're going to do it eventually, to tell you the truth. I'm going to have to leave for a second because we don't have... As I was saying, basically, if I ran the gaming industry, there'll be a lot of pro-consumer changes. That's all I'm going to say about it. You'll get Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft games on PC with little to no issue if I ran the gaming industry. I doubt it'll work, but it is what it is. I just want to make it clear that that's what I'm trying to say, people. But I would mandate the prices to be at least at the bare minimum no more than a AA game or an indie game, because they know how to do it right, but there are games that do fail because there's so many out in the market. And that's the truth. And that's something we can't really defend. Because you need, in a sense of word, you need competition. And if the video industry is not doing the basic, what needs to be done to keep prices low, or it's going to cause a problem that's going to eventually harm gaming so bad that people will have to say enough and just walk away. And I fear it's coming to a head now because of what's going on. That's all. Give everyone's... Like I said, basically my immediate plans are to finish this game and maybe complete another Nintendo game before I go, or today, because we got a lot to do. Well, technically I'm going to be only finishing this game today because, to tell you the truth, this is going to go up both as a 1 hour long rant about the gaming industry at launch, and it's a video essay both for as a stream and as a video essay. And it's just going to be more of me explaining my thoughts on all this. because hold on. Rewind. Eee! Eee! Now it's over. Your game ends here. Oh, hold on a sec. Eek! How'd you? You! I never expected you to get so far. Eee! Now it's over. Your game ends here. That's fair. But as I was saying, I haven't bought anything for the Switch yet because we're getting ready to. Because the Switch 2 is around the corner and. I detest this. But monopolization of the market always ends bad, okay? And that's it. Boss down. I just want people to understand where I'm coming from regarding the Switch 2 debacle and all that stuff and how I feel about it. That this is gonna blow up not only in Nintendo's face, but every game company's face in the end if it goes south this time. Because right now, the video market is not healthy of any kind. And our relationship with the gaming industry is also becoming increasingly unhealthy as well. Or that's why I. Hold on a second. I'm gonna continue on for one more level, and I'm gonna take a little break to go pee. I should have said that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Sorry. I'm mostly gonna focus on what I don't like. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the rewiring thing for today because I'm just not in the mood. I just want to get this game done and over with. I mean, I'm gonna try not to use it during my unlockathons, but when I have to. I have no choice. I'm also going to be finishing up a lot of Nintendo games, specifically the ones that are retro based. To switch online and then move on to the next game. So I get this done, so I go. And when I'm done with this game, I'm not going to come back to it. Consider it the last time you'll see this game. I'm sorry for... I'm sorry for saying he. Yeah. Anyway, at this point, I'm just gonna stop talking about the video game industry, but you know how I stand on a lot of stuff. I just want the prices lowered. I want price deflation to occur in the gaming industry permanently, regardless of a platform. Even if it has to be put on Steam to make it happen. And this goes for Nintendo, sorry, Microsoft in the end. Fanboyism's not cool. And to add insult to injury, uh, and to add insult to injury, microtransaction, and the beam industry's constant mishaps over the past couple of years, even in my feet, and the only good thing of Microsoft buyout of Nintendo would always lead to what you expect it to be, basically a buyout of basically games on Game Pass and basically a move to PC gaming. And to tell you the truth, the more big budget these games get, they're gonna have to up the price to even $100. And I think that's what's going with the next Grand Theft Auto. So we'll see. One more level. When it goes to the ad break, I will stop for a minute and go to the bathroom. I'm just trying to get to the end of this game now because... Oh. Nope. There we go. Stop doing that. Hey. Back away. Okay. Like I said, if I ran the game industry, there's a good chance that everything's going to change over with little to no issue. To a future where you just play on PC and that's that. That's all I'm saying here. But that's all I'm gonna say about it for now. Oh, here we go. Up we go. It's just I gotta get this done. But I'm also gonna get a new SSD for the, and then you got Microsoft coming out and saying, okay, it's up to 4 terabytes with the Switch. Not Switch. Xbox Series X. Which would be a good thing, but why would I need an extra a larger SSD now? Because, well, I mean, what possessed them? And it frustrates me. Sure, I like to have extra space, but what frustrates me over this is they just don't get it. Part of the reason why I bought an Xbox Series X is to play the Xbox exclusives and also bring some of my older games from the Xbox 360 and Xbox One over so that that way I have some leeway. Yeah. That's why I felt about. But that's what I fear about all this. Oh, hold on a second, I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Okay. We're getting somewhere. But part of the reason why I did this rant was to let people know where I stand on the gaming industry at large. And will be part of a book that I'll probably be making down the road. And to tell you the truth, a vast majority of the games Okay. This is going to take a little longer than I previously thought. But at the end of the day, I mean, the rant wasn't done deliberate, but I wanted to make it clear. I wanted to make it clear a lot because things are looking pretty bad right now in the gaming industry, at least from a consumer's point of view. And people don't understand this very well, but it's very difficult to defend an industry that Okay. But part of the reason why I did the rant was to make a clear point about where I stand on the gaming industry and its current transgressions. While some people believe that indies are doing a better job, I would love to believe that, but not with the way things are looking right now. The reason why I did the rant was to remind people that right now things are not looking good in the gaming industry. But I want to make it clear where I stand on a lot of situational issues within the gaming industry and what needs to be addressed or getting back in good graces with me. Because right now, everything's becoming increasingly costly at the moment. Got the key. But that's why I'm being very cautious until the situation changes for the better. Okay, let's move on. Done. Okay, we're almost to the end. Okay. We're out of there. And if I do upgrade my PC, I'm gonna change it out to basically have 6 TB we come down to it, so it won't be a problem in a sense of the word. Okay. Okay. If I ran the gaming industry, everyone will be held accountable in the gaming industry. That's all. Because we can't keep having PR disaster after PR disaster. That's all. So the TLDR of what I said earlier still stands. I just want every game company to just embrace PC gaming as we did with digital television. When we switched to digital, that was one thing I want to point out. We had to go digital because digital TV in the end. And part of the reason why we had to was because that's why I was trying to encourage the gaming industry to consider maybe embracing PC gaming as a permanent solution. But we'll see what happens. So if okay. 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 I don't need any more lives. We're at the end of the game, so what's the point? I mean, I got all day, so. But like I said before, this is going to be the last time I ever play this game for good. I just. I do plan to finish up Zelda Tears of the Kingdom very shortly after this. But if it ever came to PC, if it ever came available on Steam, I'm not gonna buy it again for obvious reasons. It's because the game was already long as is, and I just only have so much time in the day to deal with it. So just want just want to let people know. Just want to let people know. Okay. Let's go. Okay. But the game plan right now is to switch 2. That's the main priority. And I'm gonna pretty much. Okay. Let's go into King Bowser's Castle's final section. Welcome, Yoshi. If you would be so kind, please hand over the baby. Oh dear, what to do? Young Master Bowser wakes. Hey Mac, it's too noisy in here. I want to go sweepy bye. Hmm? 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 What kind of green donkey is that? Looks like fun. Meanwhile, mine! Okay. Yoshi, how can you do this? You're massive. Let me help you out. Here. That's it. He's down. I'm tired of rewinding. How dare you? It's not fair. You're such a being big me. Someday we will be back. You'll see. Thus, due to the marvelous teamwork of the Yoshi clan, the brothers reunite. Yoshi captures Stork, who sets about his duty and finally makes a long-awaited delivery. Thanks, Yoshi. The brothers will meet their parents soon. That being said, the game is done. Now it's all said and done. I can safely move on to another game that I can take a look at. One thing's for sure is this is probably going to be the last and final Nintendo Switch stream, though I might be open for one more stream tomorrow, but we'll see how things go. And it'll probably be the last official stream until the launch of the console, or Switch 2, that is. As I said before, I hope one day all three console makers will come to an agreement and formally move to PC gaming for everyone's sake. So everyone doesn't have to worry about this anymore. And that way they can move to PC. That way people can finally move safely to a new console. They just use the PC and that's that, and just have to upgrade certain things when they play. Looks like they've reached the land where mom and dad live. Where mom and dad live. Our heroes are born. Let's check one last time before we call crits.
Choose a game.
Yep, it's cleared.
Choose a game.
With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this stream and pretty much gave my rant a little listen. But anyways, tomorrow Wednesday I will be doing a stream. We'll see how things are tomorrow. But if not, we might be back here Thursday or Friday for our first Nintendo Switch 2 stream. Other than that, take care, stay safe, enjoy your day, everyone. The Switch 2 is around the corner, and I will be streaming from that come Thursday or Friday. Yeah? We'll see what happens. Other than that, take care, stay safe, enjoy your day, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next stream, which will be tomorrow. Will be sometime in the week. Here between tomorrow and Friday. If nothing happens on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be getting a Switch 2 stream afterward on Thursday or Friday. See you all then.